What's going on, guys? Today's project, or today's repair we'll be working on today, or the next few days, is going to be this box Chevy right here. This 1980 Chevy Caprice. I'm gonna do a few things on it for one of my clients. So I'm gonna get this bad boy in the garage, and we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do to it. All right, so I got the box Chevy running. So I gotta let it warm up a little bit so I can get it into the garage. So I'm letting it warm up. So while I'm letting it warm up, I gotta move my blue Chevy out the way so I can have some room to work on this one. All right, guys. So I'm about to move my car out the way so I can get that box Chevy in here. So I'm just letting this thing right here warm up too. This one right here got fuel injection on it, so it don't, you know, it run for a little bit, then it kind of settled down. But you can hear back here the exhaust, man. It's counting them off pretty good. So it's counting them off pretty good. So it's just now starting to settle down. So I'm actually gonna drive this right here to work tomorrow, so it'll be good. All right, guys, I'm in the box Chevy here, just letting it run a little bit, and we're gonna show you what kind of repairs we're gonna be doing to this thing. What's going on, guys? It's Cool Fred here. Welcome to Cool Fred's Garage. The project that we're going to be working on today is a 1980 Caprice Classic. A lot of guys will refer to that as a box Chevy. I'm working on this car for one of my clients. One of the guys that he actually used to work at my job with me, and he used to work in a different department, but he used to work there with me. And pretty much how I started working on this car is I work at a dealership. I work on BMWs for a living. So pretty much at the dealership, we got a couple guys who are into you know, building cars and that's doing a little bit of high performance. And I was one of the two technicians that came highly recommended. So you know, my name got thrown around because of my blue Chevy that I have, my 1973 Chevy Impala. So pretty much somebody who's looking for somebody who want to, I guess somebody who want to work on old school cars and stuff like that. Basically, they're looking for somebody, because not everybody, you know, wants to work on older cars and things like that. It is nice to, you know, somebody like myself who can work on them, but I guess some of the younger people, you know, unless they grew up around those type of cars or they got friends and family, you know, it's easy for them to kind of just lean toward computer cars that, you know, when you can plug them up and scan them, they tell you what's wrong with them, or just stuff that they're already into. I mean, they're into the tuner scene, you know, Hondas, Infinities and stuff like that. So they're or you know, Mustangs, Camaros, or whatever. They're into pretty much the new generation of stuff, which is cool. But typically, you know, somebody they're looking for, I guess what I boil it down to is they want somebody who know how to adjust the carburetor and, you know, things like that. So fortunately for me, I can work on a variety of things. I grew up on, you know, around carbureted cars and learning about fuel injection. But just a little bit, you know, about the car. This guy, He's a young fellow from Texas. Basically, you know, had this car in college, graduated college, and believe it or not, it is a daily driver. So he drives this thing pretty much every day to work and things like that. So he's off on vacation and dropped it off to me a few days so we can knock out these repairs that we're gonna knock out. So we're gonna talk about those, but pretty much, I mean, it's a 1980 Caprice Classic. We refer to it as a box Chevy. You know, these cars, I grew up around these. I can say that I can literally say that I've seen almost every kind of paint job on one of these box Chevys. All kind of wheels, anything from chrome 15-inch Daytons, just, you know, me growing up in the 90s, all the way up. Well, I was actually born in the mid 80s, but, you know, coming up in the 90s in elementary and middle school, you know, these cars were real popular. Like, I done seen all kind of paint jobs on them. I done seen all kind of wheels on them. I done seen 17-inch Daytons. I done seen when people started putting 20s on them, 22s, 24s, all the craze. I've seen the interiors, you know, go from what you would see in the Scarface movie, like, you know, some tiger print, leopard, this and that, all the way to, you know, full leather. So definitely times have changed, in these box Chevys, they keep changing as well. So pretty much it's a like, as an artist, you know, if you had a blank piece of paper and, you know, you picking out your design and stuff like that, it's pretty much an open canvas, you know what I'm saying? This one right here, he's starting to put it together, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty solid car as far as the body and everything. It needs some paint on it and things like that, but the main thing, as far as the drivability, he's able to drive it. It's running and driving. Him and his uncle, they put a 350 motor from Jegs in there, so it's a 350 small block Chevy in there. Got a light cam and a 350 transmission. So I mean, it's pretty much you know, the possibilities in the future, or you know, whatever, is basically the sky's the limit. So with a Summit catalog and a couple of, well, I don't know about year one, but maybe Classic Industries and a few other, you know, you can easily put this car together. You know, whatever you got set in your mind, pretty much the sky's the limit. And that's to any of the guys who want to build any car, whether it's a Monte Carlo, a Cutlass, or, you know, even my Ford guys. You know, I like all cars. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I got a Chevy myself, but you know, instead of getting a new Chevy pickup, I got a Ram. So I pretty much like anything. But if you guys like old school cars and classic cars and things like that, that's the type of stuff I work on Cool Fred's Garage. So smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think. But we about to go out here and get into a few things that we're gonna do with this box Chevy real quick. I got the car for a few days. You know, my client's out on vacation, so pretty much I'm gonna get everything knocked out so it's ready for him when he gets back. So alrighty, let's see what we got. Alright guys, so here we go right here. I guess we're gonna talk about the parts that we're gonna put on here in a minute, but for right now, basically, you know, 350 small block Chevy. So I guess that's considered an upgrade, because believe it or not, in the 1980s, that's when GM started going to the smaller engines. Most of these things back in the 80s had 305s in them, because, you know, they was trying to meet the fuel economy standards. And also the gas, I know the gas crisis was back in the 1970s, but later in the 70s, they were trying to do more things to make these things fuel efficient. So, but you know, if you got one of these from the factory that had a 350 in them, You know what I'm saying? You pretty much lucky. Most of those were in the taxi and the police cars. But you know, a lot of guys, you know, these days you're seeing anything from people putting 383s, big blocks, LS turbos, and all kind of crazy things in these things. I mean, like I was saying earlier, you know, if you can dream it and you can think it, you know what I'm saying, you can definitely make it happen. I've seen I guess the Camaro ZL1 and the Cadillac CTS-V engines in these things, the LSA. But the 350 small block Chevy, I mean, that's one reliable engine, and plus, I mean, it's got decent horsepower. You know, at least anywhere between 260, 280 to mid 350s, depending on how you got it built. This one here has a I believe it's a Holley carburetor up under there. So it's got a Holley carburetor on there, and an Edelbrock intake, and it got some headers on it. So what I've done in this car so far is the last time I worked on it, I put this gearbox on it. So the gearbox had a real bad leak. I put that on there, and then I put that water pump on there. So, but my client, he talked to me because I guess at the time his water pump was making the squealing noise. So that was his squealing noise, and also the gearbox was acting up, and every time you would turn it real hard, the power steering pump would squeak. So, but one of the things that he wanted to do is go to a serpentine style belt system. So something with some more modern style belts that's a little bit thicker. So we're going to talk about that, and then also he wants to put electric fans on here. So we're about to go over to my workbench here and talk about the parts that we're going to be putting on here. All right, so you guys got to bear with me. I got parts all over the place. I got home projects going on, car projects, all kind of stuff. So, but this is my makeshift workbench here. It serves the purpose. I've rebuilt transmissions on here and all kind of things, but pretty much what it is a couple Summit sawhorses that you can get from Summit. They hold up about 700 pounds a piece. So I got 2 of those heavy duty sawhorses, and I got a couple 2x8 pieces of wood and a 2x4 in the middle. But it don't matter. But as long as you get a couple 2x8s on there. And the good thing about this is I can fold this down. I can take all this stuff down, fold these sawhorses. I can store those away in my storage house. I can clean up all this mess, and I can park my wife's car back in the garage. So, but without further ado, these are the parts. As you can see, we got the electric fans here that we're going to be putting on here. I'm going to talk about the electric fans later, so I'm going to put those to the side. This is some radiator pads, just to kind of help keep the radiator in place. I got some miscellaneous wiring to wire up the fans with. So pretty much I'm gonna put all this stuff to the side, and then we're gonna talk about the meat and potatoes, about pretty much like we're gonna get into what we're about to start off with. And that's this belt drive system that we got. So this is the part number here to the Summit Serpentine belt system, and we got an alternator right there, and power steering pump just came in today from Summit, so we got we're gonna put a new power steering pump on there. All right, so I'm in the middle of getting the belt kit unboxed. It's a lot of little small boxes in here. This right here is the Summit, the SUM-340500 serpentine belt system. So I'm getting everything laid out. So far I got the alternator out of the box. So this is a Tuff-Stuff Alternator. Got a nice little it's got a nice little paint job on it. So it's detailed very nice. And this right here is a power steering pump from Lares. So I'm working on getting this stuff. Oh, this thing says it's got a lifetime warranty on it, so that's pretty cool. So I'm probably gonna keep all the boxes for the client, put them in the trunk. That way he can, I guess, keep up with everything. And I'm also taking the repair instructions out and putting those to the side as well. Ooh wee, man! I'm looking at some of these pieces here, and there's some good quality pieces, man. In this a billet kit from Summit. These some real nice pieces, man. Come with all the hardware. This right here, the alternator bracket. Got all the bolts and hardware to secure that. This right here, the alternator fan. So this fan right here, I'm gonna take that off and put this on there. So this right here, like a GM 10SI alternator, kind of, you know, similar to, you know, what came on the cars in the late 70s, early 80s. I believe this is a 100 amp alternator. This is the power steering pulley. Man, this right here, this crank pulley is a nice little deep ditch pulley. It almost looked like a supercharger pulley. But that's because we got 2 V-belts. And these are 6 groove pulleys also. The power steering, that's the power steering pulley. This is the power steering bracket in the hardware. Water pump pulley. And these are the special screws that's gonna secure this pulley to the water pump. And these are the crank bolts too. I'm trying to keep everything together. That's kind of why I got everything. So I can keep all the, that's why I got the wrapping with it, so I keep everything together. And this is the Lares Power steering pump. I believe this is a new power steering pump. It says it has lifetime warranty on it, so it's able to mount up with our bracket here, and we're able to adjust it right over there with that screw there. So it's got a nice little, I guess that's a chrome or billet cap. It's a chrome power steering pump. This is I believe that's the part number right there. So that's the part number to it. And then we got two serpentine V-belts. So now this kit right here don't have a belt tensioner. So you got two V-belts or serpentine belts. I gotta see which one. One of them is for the power steering and the other one is for, but the repair instructions give you a they give you the numbers just in case you need to ever replace those. So that's another thing on your old school projects. When you you know, you definitely want to keep up with what you got in your car, just in case there comes a time where you need to replace a belt or you need to do some type of maintenance. You can get that part, because these numbers of this belt cross-reference over to some Gates part numbers. And we'll take a peek at the instructions in a little bit. But another thing we got is I got this ground cable. Ordered this from Amazon. I believe it's a 4-gauge cable. Pretty much what this is for is just this is pretty much I'm gonna run a ground wire between the block and the engine block, maybe, or by the cylinder head to the frame. To the frame of the car. Pretty much what that does, that makes sure you got a good ground connection and things like that. The reason being, a lot of these alternators, I got to read the instructions on this one, but this one may be a one wire setup. Sometimes you don't need the excite wire and stuff like that. But if you're running Dakota digital gauges like this car is, or even, you know, like my 73 Chevy Impala, because I actually had some issues where I remember I warrantied out maybe like 2 or 3 alternators at Summit, and I was just thinking to myself, man, they're not gonna keep switching out these alternators. But it's like I would get it, I would put it on, and it would just stop charging after some time. But come to find out, I was killing the voltage regulator inside. So the voltage regulator, It's a little device that's about back here. Now this one most likely has a self-exciting voltage regulator. That's why they put these caps in here. So so basically this is possibly a one-wire alternator. Basically what it is, if you hook this up to the vehicle electrical system and run it to the battery, if you run a hot wire to the battery or however it's wired into the electrical system, once it starts spinning, it excites itself and it will start charging the battery based on it just spinning. Now this particular one, Tuff-Stuff, a lot of them do that. They put this ground tab on there. So we're also going to run a small little ground wire from there to, like, I guess the cylinder head or something, or it may go in conjunction with this. But back to the ground wire thing. Pretty much the ground wire, that was the thing, and it was pretty much just sporadic how I came across it that fixed it. I put ground wire from the cylinder head to the frame of the body, and my alternator, I never had another problem with killing alternators, well, with the voltage regulator. And a lot of these, if you do mess up the voltage regulator by accident, by not having a proper ground, you just have to take it apart, and it's just like you're replacing the brushes. There are all kind of instructions for that online. But basically, when you take these there's 4 screws on here. I don't know if you guys ever rebuilt the alternator, but if you take the 2 halves off, the brushes are going to jump out with springs. But to put those in, it's this little thing right here, I believe. You could put a gem clip or a cotter pin or anything pretty much straight to put those brushes back in there, pack the springs back in there, and you can change out the voltage regulator. I think it's like these 3 screws right here, 1, 2, 3. So and you can order I think there's a guy on eBay called the Alternator Man. That's where I ordered those from. This has been years ago, I'm not sure, but they sell they got these on eBay. If you ever, like, let's say you get a brand new alternator, you forget to ground it properly, or something happened with your excite wire or something like that. But a lot of times that generally occurs if you change up the wiring. Like, let's say like in this case, you wire in some Dakota digital gauges, and because the light on the dash, the idiot light, basically what happens is when the car is off and it's not charging, once power gets sent through there, once the power, I think what happens is it ended up, when it's not running, it grinds itself out. It grounds itself out and it completes the circuit. So it turns out it turns on the idiot light. And then when you start it up, once power is flowing through there a different direction, that's what turns out the idiot light, the charge light. So, but once you get rid of that, the load sensing thing that it has in here to make it charge, I don't know, it does something weird with it. But this one right here doesn't really require that type of system, because it has the it's self-exciting. But you do have to properly ground them, because if you don't properly ground these alternators, they will burn out the voltage regulator inside. So that's a nice little piece of advice for you guys who are running any kind of aftermarket gauges on these old schools. It don't matter whether it's a box Chevy, a C10 truck, a G body, Monte Carlo. It don't matter. They all work very similar. All right, so pretty much we talked about, got the parts laid out, what we're gonna put in there, just pretty much generally talking about, got everything laid out, everything organized. I'm gonna show you all the repair instructions real quick. Pretty much not all of them. I'm not gonna go through them like that, but I'm gonna at least show the ones for the belt kit. So some it usually does pretty good. If you don't get repair instructions in the parts that you get, you normally can go online And this is a cool thing even before you even buy a part. A lot of times you can go online, like let's say you want to do a fuel injection or either a disc brake kit or something like that. If it's a popular manufacturer, you can go online and click on the PDF, and you can kind of see what's involved with getting whatever you're trying to do installed before you actually purchase it. So that's pretty cool. I know Summit has it, and I think Speedway Motors have it too. I'm not sure about Jag, so I order parts from a variety of places sometimes, so you know, I kind of know. But basically, this is pretty much it right here. They give you the outline and how things are supposed to line up. It seems like it's a pretty simple installation. And then down here, we got, oh, okay, I see that the power steering is a 5-rib belt, which that's cool because it's only one, you only got one accessory right there. So, but this is still better than stock, believe it or not. But it tell you right here, your alternator belt is a Dayco. These right here are made by somebody else, Prime, HO Prime or something. So that's who those are made by. But it tell you right here in your repair instructions which part numbers these cross over to, just in case you have an issue. You can run down to O'Reilly's, AutoZone, and anywhere and pretty much pick up a Gates or a Dayco belt and get back on the road and keep rolling. So that's the number to the alternator belt and then the power steering belt. All right, so what's pretty much next is I'm about to get in here and you know, I got this car for a few days. I'm probably gonna work on it for a little bit tonight, and then I'm finna go in and get prepared for work tomorrow, kind of chill out and take it easy. But pretty much I'm gonna start getting some of this stuff apart and get the alternator out, get the old pulleys and everything out, get everything ready for this new stuff to go on. And I will have to get my impact out and zip this pulley off and put this nice little cool pulley that they give you on here on there. It looks like it's got some type of, I'm not sure if this is a metal cap or it feels like it's metal, but this alternator thing. So this little cap pops off in the nut, and I should be able to reuse this nut right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff done. Once I get the belts and thing off, you know, I probably would get a little bit more footage if I had a camera stand, but I tried to order one from Amazon, one that, you know, was gonna be pretty decent. And pretty much what happened is there was a delay in the shipping, so I'm not sure if they're having an inventory problem or actually making the product. So a few days turned into a week and a half, 2 weeks, but I ended up having to cancel that product. So I just got my Sony camera and the little handy stand here, which is pretty good, or the video stick. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some of this stuff out of here. It shouldn't be too bad to take apart. I'm gonna first start by disconnecting the battery. I'm gonna do that, and I'll get a few of these things off of here, and then I'll fire the camera back up and just show you guys what I got all off of there, and we'll go from there.